Hello, Neatle. Happy solstice. Just keeping an eye on my quackers. What you doing, boys? The girls are just eating mud. Ducks love to eat dirt. Hey, Merlin. Anywho's, today is going to be a bit of a Garn crochet share. I'm planning on a short post, but you know how it goes. Plan on a short post, you end up rabbiting on for too long, so it becomes a longer post than planned. Put my brolly up. I wish I could just leave it out here like this, but when we get wind down at this region, it's wind, like chaos ensues. And you know, I cannot find for the life of me where I've put my tripod, so I'm just going to manually hold with one hand and then try and prop my camera up on something. It's only a little tiny Canon pick shot. But anyway, on a really early episode, I did a share on a project I was doing, this poncho, and Novita pattern, or Novita pattern, and which is free, and I ended up ripping it back at least 5 times just to change the needle size and gauge, because I just did not, it was just way too big. And like, this is a chunky yarn, but you know your traditional granny square that you use a 4mm hook with, crochet hook. Usually they use a 4mm yarn, but the pattern even recommended, I think it was a 5 or a 5.5mm hook. Like, regardless of what yarn you use, it's still going to make the square a lot bigger than your traditional square. So I don't know if there was a mistake within translation, like in their own translations, I'm not sure, but anyway, way too big. So now I'm using actually a 3mm hook. So this is the original. I actually plan on making this in quite a few different colorways, because I think ponchos are just that nice in between of, layering when it's a cooler night. So often here in the Southern Hemisphere, when we have a warm day, we do actually have a cool night. And it's nice to have this sort of thing you can just throw over, and it's so snuggly as well. This is not a natural blend, it's an acrylic blend of your Garn, but at this, so I don't really want to be wearing something thick and heavy in wool like this in summer or in your transitional sort of weather. That said, I do want to get cotton, but the amount of cotton that we have available to us here in Australia is just ridiculous. And what you do get is these 25 grams skeins, which are only in like basic colours. Like, you literally do have to buy from overseas and get it shipped to have any variety in colours or anything like that here, which is annoying, because there's a lot of us crafters down here, and I know you can get boutique, and we've got classifications here like A grade, B grade, C grade, D grade, and unless you want to pay like nearly $30, $20 to $30 for a skein of yarn, you've literally got bugger all to choose from. But anyway, that's enough complaining. Oh, Merlin, dude. So with this colorway, I like it, but when I wear it, I feel like there's not enough contrast. I feel like the silver is still too blending in with the bright colours, and I want them to stand out more. So when I do redo this poncho, I'm actually going to swap out the silver for this beige. Anything that looks better. So I really want these bright colours to pop. I want it to remind me of the beach. I like the silver because of the stones and the tones in the water, but I want these to stand out. So I do like a contrasting colour when it comes to colourways. Otherwise, it's like, what's the point of doing a colourway if you can't see, if the the colours you choose don't pop. Sorry. Merlin, put a sock in it, dude. He can hear a neighbour next door and he's letting me know. I was like, oh. Yeah, seriously, you do not need a guard dog if you've got a rooster. He will let you know. Whether you want to know or not, he will let you know. So put this camera down. So here is the same poncho in a different colourway, of course, in a tighter. Did I just pick up the hook and put it down? Yeah, I think I did. I've done this in a 3mm hook. I mean, this originally was it was actually 5.5. I went to 5, still too big. I went to 4, still too big. I didn't go 3.35. I just thought, fuck it, I'll just, excuse my French, I'll go for a 3. So I prefer this sturdiness a whole lot more. It's a USA style chunky yarn as well. And I just like this thickness. It's literally like wearing a coat thickness. The birds love the elderberry. They can really hide in there, the sparrows. When I come out or come near the elder tree, it's like a cloud of sparrows. Just leave the elder. It's so cute. As long as they don't poop on the flowers. Oh, look at that harvest. That is 12 heads of elderflowers. And that's my second basket this week. And I'm most likely going to have another basket within the next 5 to 7 days or week. You know, bees hanging around. But anyway, I really love this colorway. There is a sock pattern that uses this colorway as well. And I'm like, oh, I've never knitted a sock before in my life, so I'm kind of nervous. I'm going to have to be like newbie with it. But we'll be alright. But anyway, so to recap, this poncho actually has a knitted, I think it's a 2x2 rib collar. And I've also made this a tighter needle hook size as well, in order for this to sit higher up on my shoulders. I don't want a poncho's weight draping down underneath my deltoid cap, i.e. front of shoulder, the front cap of the shoulder muscle or deltoid. I used to be a personal trainer and an athlete and a bodybuilder, so forgive me if I geek out on my anatomical and biomechanical Latin. But anyway, so as you can see, it's a lot shorter. This is not finished yet. I basically have one more round of, so from black, white, red, charcoal, black, burgundy, 2 red rows. I just need to repeat this section, and I think that's a perfect length. And then also it has tassels. And I can't wait to show the complete project. Once you get to midway though, each round takes a whole lot longer to do. It's literally like crocheting a miniature blanket. So let's put that back in this basket. And I've got a buy that I'm really happy to share. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to have to unravel that. It's okay. It's one of those things, isn't it? It's like, especially when you've got a lot on your plate, you don't really want to have to unravel something to redo it again. But in another way, it's good practice whether you like it or not. I don't know. But check it out. I got this bag. I think it's, if I don't drop my water, I need a sip. I think it's a perfect crochet project bag, and I'll show why. You could use it for knitting, but I think it's more of a crochet bag. So let's spill. I'll try and add a link. I don't know if I can add links yet to this channel, but we'll see how I go. I got it from, in Australia we have My Deal online. It's so it's mydeal.au.com. And I just thought this was a perfect bag for crochet. So yeah, I think, you know, especially if you've got long knitting needles, I don't think it's quite perfect for knitting needles, but I think it's fantastic for crochet. There's 4 rivets, so you can actually put the yarn that you're working with, and you could easily put two colours of yarn per hole, or you could even just put more grommets in yourself to, you know. But I think this is perfect, especially if you've got a project with lots of different colours. You can put them all in there without them. When I used to teach stretch and classes in the city, when I was living in the Melbourne city, CBD, I don't want to say how many times it's happened to me, but I have actually been the person who's walking down the street and someone runs up behind me and taps me on the shoulder. Hey, you've lost you lost one of your wools or your yarn. You know, they've come running up with this skein of yarn that's got all this unraveled, you know. Nothing worse, especially if you're wearing headphones. You're probably like totally unaware that you've just had a ball of yarn unravel and go all the way down the streets of the CBD. You know what I mean? Anyway, stops that happening. I've seen the cylinder sort of yarn project bags, and I don't think they're quite good for this sort of thing where you've got multiple colorways. You could fit knitting needles in here. I mean, you could use it for knitting. You could probably just put the knitting needles that you're using in the top of the bag, unless you're using circular needles with interchangeable cables. It would be perfect for that. But these are just all my crochet hooks. Now, what I don't have crochet hook wise, I got a few bamboo hooks. It's the one thing I don't have with my crochet. Actually, no, there's 2 things. Double headed crochet hooks, you know, a hook on each end, and also so you can do you can crochet double thickness at the same time, which is good for things like washcloths and sponges and things like that. I don't have that, and I don't have a complete set of bamboo. I do like bamboo. This one here is actually rosewood. When I tried to get it at another time, like the whole set, and it reminds me of a chessboard, I couldn't get it. I might as well share my hooks while I'm here. So these, I have, so here's another thing. I have quite a few hooks that are the same size, but they're different colour, different like made of different materials. And I think that's important because, like, if you're working with a yarn that's purple, it's going to make it take you longer to create and make it, because it's going to make it more difficult to see because there's no contrast. Whereas if I've got a gold hook, and this reminds me of the stone amber, isn't it gorgeous? I bought this, I think, about 20 years ago on sale with, you know, a few different colours, and I do believe it's from Germany as well. They had the German brand, I think it's Addy, on sale here ages ago in one of our warehouses, and I just bought those. I just love them. So, you know, likewise, if you've got a black yarn, this is going to be a lot easier to see the yarn you're working with, and it'll be a quicker process. Now my battery is flashing, damn it. Then also, you know, things like bamboo and wood, it might make it easier to catch onto yarn that you're working with that's slippery. If you've got slippery yarn, you know, using an aluminium hook is not really going to be ideal, as it's going to continuously slip. Plastic can actually be nice and light. Then you've got your rubber handles, soft grip, and you got plastic. So these are my sort of largish hooks, and then my smaller hooks are in here. I'm going to try and time this because my battery is flashing. In this little pocket here, I've just got things such as a needle measure, tape measure, scissors, and in the back pocket, yeah, there's a back pocket. Yeah. Dang it, now I'm trying to rush through so I don't run out of time. I've got this small bag of hey sparrows, tiny hooks, aluminium hooks, which go up to 5. So that's in the back, as well as swatches. of what I'm working on in the project. So this is the colorway of the poncho I did, and these are the planned colorways I'm doing. So this is dedicated to my drake, my duck fawn. It's his colorings. This is dedicated to my duck Freya. It's her coloring. And this is just a nice summary. I did it with a cream, but no, I think I'm going to go beige. Now I haven't blocked these swatches. I'm going to block them, and I'm just going to keep them as like sort of a library. So if I'm ever doing any other work, I can use this as a sort of a thing to play with. I think it's nice to have colorway swatches, not just swatches in general, but you can refer to, especially if it's a colorway that is successful, that you really enjoy for future works. And I mean, why not? And I did these with a 12 chain cast on and single stitch and it's a 4.5 millimeter yarn using a 4 millimeter hook, and I ended up with a nice stiff fabric. So I need to swatch those so they sit nice and flat, but I really like these. I mean, you could make little projects of them, like a little miniature bag to put in your stitch markers and so forth. I've got an idea of doing something like that later on, which I'll share. But anyway, this is my new bag. I'm so happy. And then also there's a compartment in the middle for the different skeins of yarn. Usually I'm good, and I just had a mosquito bite me on the foot. You little stinker. They're ridiculous here in Australia. Like, they'll eat you alive. Now I reckon I've got at least 10 mosquito bites on each foot. Damn it. And they make me swell. They're like, I'm really allergic to the little bastards. Anyways, if I can link the exact address for this bag, I will do so in my description. If I can't, it's at mydeal.au.com. I don't know if there's a MyDeal overseas in different countries. So have I covered everything? I have, in 18 minutes. So this is my yarn update here in the Southern Hemisphere at midsummer, and I hope you're all keeping sane and crafty, and we're all going through shit. But keep garning along, keep crafting along, keep being creative. Don't let the bastards get you down, and if they do get you down, don't let them keep you down for too long. Don't drown. Blessed be Merry Part, and again, hope everyone's doing well. Thank you for watching. Bye for now. Damn mosquitoes. Hear that? Thunderstorms. I knew it. I had such a headache yesterday. Anyway, I gotta go. Bye for now. Blessed be and Merry Part.